a public safety analyst, Dr. Nana Yao Akwadaa, Executive Secretary Director for the Bureau of Public Safety. He has done some work in respect of aviation accidents, reviewed hundreds of investigative reports, etc. And he is well placed to pronounce on some of these matters. Doc Akwadaa, good morning. Welcome to the program. Thanks so much for making time to join us on this. We've seen and heard generally about this accident. Of course, a lot of us are untrained in these matters. We only make comments based on what we see. But given your experience and what you know about aviation accidents, etc., what could be the likely cause of this, even as we await reports from the investigations? What are some of the possible causes of this?
Good morning, Salom, and good morning to your panelists. Very good morning to your viewers as well. Well, I believe that there could be several causes, several causes. And having reviewed over 200 aviation incidents, I am not in a position to speculate what could have happened, because I know that it can range from sometimes as little as a wasp to something as minute as turning a knob from auto to manual. So it will be very difficult for me to predict or speculate what could have led to the causes. But we did issue a press statement yesterday, and we called for an independent investigation into this crash after the president, His Excellency John Mahama, has announced that the Ghana Armed Forces will be leading the investigation. We did call for investigations not to be led by the Ghana Armed Forces, by an independent party, because in this respect, the Ghana Armed Forces is an interested party in the outcome of the investigations. So there is a conflict of interest there. If the Ghana Armed Forces also investigates this incident, the chances that we will not get the transparency that we need is also very high. And considering that there is so much public anxiety over this incident, considering the numerous allegations out there on social media and at public quarters, we also believe that if the Ghana Armed Forces leads this investigation, it will undermine the public's confidence. And aside that, the global best practices under the International Civil Aviation Organization's Annex 13, which provides a framework for international standards and recommended practices for aircraft investigations, incident investigations. We want these investigations to be conducted in an independent manner, and then by an authority separated from the operator and the regulatory body. Look, we can draw several examples from across the world, right? In the United Kingdom, they have the Defense Accident Investigation Branch. This branch operates independently from the chain of command and reports publicly on its findings. Where there are security sensitivities, they redact their report and issue public summaries. Okay. In Australia, the Australian Transportation Safety Board conducts investigations into defense-related incidents with guaranteed independence. In Ghana, we have the Accident Investigations Bureau, the Air Accident Investigations Bureau. I have taken a good review of their the act that set them up. There is no mention of defense-related incidents, and so we are not sure if they have what it takes in terms of law. They have that locus to investigate this incident. So we are pushing strongly for His Excellency to consider setting up an independent investigations body. Look, in the US, they have the National Transportation Safety Board, which is our version, their version of our Air Accident Investigation Bureau. This body teams up with independent investigations body of the US Army, the US Air Force, the US Naval Guard. They have their various accident investigation centers, okay, that operates independently from the command structure. So where there is a public safety, interest, the NTSB coordinates with these accident investigation centers to carry out these investigations. We do not have that within our setup in Ghana. So we are not comfortable with the military, investigating themselves. We have lots of confidence in the military. They've done extraordinary sacrifices, for our country in the past. But on this occasion, we do not believe that they will do a very independent job. And at the end of the day, the public will be satisfied with the outcome of their investigations. Yes, it involves a military aircraft, but out of the 8 that are dead, there are only 3 crew members who are part of the armed forces, right? The Air Force.
But Nana,
3.
I don't. Yeah.
5 of them are high-profile public officers, elected officers, and high-ranking party members. So you can understand the general anxiety of the public. We need to get down to the bottom of this matter by having an independent investigation body conduct the investigations into this crash, so that at the end of the day, their findings will be acceptable to all of us. And Selom, I know you want to ask a follow-up, but let me finish
just to
with this one last.
just to throw a few things in there. So of course, 5 of them appointees. Just one is an elected official. Omani Boama is an appointee, not an elected official. And Limuna and Samo Sabon, etc. So that's fine. But the point about the investigation, I'm not sure everybody on that investigation board is from the Ghana Armed Forces. All right, so perhaps the Ghana Armed Forces is also represented on the panel, or perhaps we'll chair it. But
Stella, very good. That's exactly our problem. You in the media now, you are not sure which people constitute the investigation panel, and that's exactly what we are trying to cure. Okay, in tenets with, or in accordance with ICAO, International Civil Aviation Organization Annex 13, code, we should know who are on the investigation panel. But according to the president, the Ghana Armed Forces is leading it. That is what we know. We don't know who are the members of this investigation panel. That's already the secrecy, the strict confidentiality has started. We are looking forward to getting a preliminary report within the first 30 days. It's not with the military leading this investigation, the likelihood that we will not get any preliminary report in the next 30 days is very high, because you and I know that the military operates in strict confidentiality, and the aircraft involved is, let's say the sister or our version of US Marine One, if you want, US Marines One. That's the aircraft that carries the president, or if you like, in terms of airplanes, we say Air Force One.
But okay. Do we know? So do we know whether this particular helicopter is the one that carries the president? And do we know whether, if the president was to travel, he would have been on this particular helicopter? I don't think we know that yet, do we?
Well, I think that's the information out there, that the president was the one who was supposed to go, and was that same chopper that would have carried the president. So our understanding and conclusion is that this is our US Marine One that carries the president. So we don't know what retrofitting has been done on it. We don't know what has been installed in there. We don't know the protocols that guide, the usage, the inspection before it takes off and all. So in this investigations, all that is going to come out. But we have said that at the end of the day, an independent team conducting this investigation could still do it and issue a redacted report because of the security implications. This is done the whole world over. It's done in the UK, it's done in the US, it's done in Australia, it's done in all advanced jurisdictions. So our serious concerns with this is already the secrecy that is emerging. Look, in very transparent jurisdictions, by now it's been over 72 hours or close to 72 hours today, we should know all the flight officers, the number of flight hours under their badge, okay? So that at least we can cure that public rumor that we took people who were inexperienced, people who did not know what they were about to fly high-profile party officials, high-ranking government officials, and very important VVIPs. Is this true? Is this false? We should know by now how many flight time these guys have under their badges. Then we can cure it. So look, it's very important that this investigation is carried in the best, under best global practice situations, circumstances, so that we will be able to cure and allay the fears and concerns of the public and bring them along, so that at the end of the day, whatever findings we make will have the credibility that we all want.
And you don't think local context is important? I mean, perhaps maybe the institutional representation of the people on the panel could be good, but the names of the people out there, given the sensitivity of this matter, you think, given our local cultural context, the way to go is to still put their names out there? You think that's the way to go?
Salom, I agree with you. We can hold up with the names out there because, look, we will not know every expert, within our jurisdiction. But we need to know. If you tell us the Ghana Armed Forces is leading it, based on that, we said no. We need an independent party. Tell us that we have an independent party. Name that independent chairperson of the investigation group, and tell us the rest of the people are coming from. They are civil aviation expert. There's a civil aviation expert. There's an observer from Defense and Interior Committee. There's a representative from so and so. I think that will be fine. We're not necessarily calling for individuals' names to be published, but we would like to know who are represented on this investigation panel. And I think that it's a call in accordance with international best practices, and it's a call that will ensure that at the end of the day, whatever findings are made, whatever conclusions are made, it will preserve the credibility of the investigation, ensure that the adoption, we uphold Ghana's commitment to transparency and public accountability.
All right, that's good. So we'll come back to you.